Hi everyone and welcome to Fresh from My Garden. This is a plant that is growing on our front porch and it was gifted to me by my grandmother, and this can also be grown as an indoor plant. So do stay tuned to know plant care tips for this beautiful plant. This is the Bromeliad and it's a beautiful plant that can grow indoors as well as in partially shaded areas outdoors. So now this is growing on our front porch where it receives some filtered sunlight. Bromeliads are tropical plants and they usually are grown indoors, and in warm weather conditions they can also be grown outdoors as long as they are placed in spots where they don't receive any harsh direct sunlight. Though these plants cannot tolerate too much of direct sunlight, if they are placed indoors, they should be placed in a spot where they receive a lot of bright indirect light. Too much of direct sunlight will scorch and burn the plant, and it could also kill the bromeliad plants. And too little light will make the plants really leggy and the plant will not bloom. These plants usually live for up to 5 years, and once it is mature, the plant starts to bloom. And once it blooms, those blooms are intact for several months. The bromeliad plant blooms only once in its lifetime, and once the flower starts to die back, the plant also starts to die back, but producing a lot of new pups that we can propagate for our garden. Once the flower starts to die back, we need to deadhead or remove these flowers so that the plant can focus its energy on creating new pups. Once the pups are formed, we can divide them and separate them so that we can grow them in different containers in our garden. Since one plant produces multiple pups as it dies back, they can also be grown in garden beds or in our front garden where it will take over the space and grow well if it is provided the right conditions. Bromeliads are drought tolerant plants and prefer their soil to remain dry most of the time. So make sure not to overwater these plants since overwatering can kill the plant and cause rotting of the roots. Just like we would water our indoor plants, these plants need to be watered only once in 7 to 10 days, especially during the cooler months when there is less evaporation from the soil. Pot them in a mixture that contains garden soil along with some sand and compost so that there would be good drainage in the containers in which these bromeliads are planted. Bromeliads are slow growing plants and they don't require too much of fertilizer, but once it starts to bloom, we can add slow release granules or some compost so that the plant continues to look healthy and the blooms look beautiful. Most beautiful flowering and colorful plants that we grow in our garden require a lot of direct sunlight, but plants like the bromeliad and anthuriums or peace lily are beautiful flowering plants that can be grown indoors as well as in partially shaded areas on our front porch or balconies. If these kind of plants are well cared for by providing them the right conditions for them to grow in when it comes to sunlight, watering, and soil, these plants will thrive well and will be a great addition to our indoor living spaces. I hope you liked the tips that I shared about this beautiful plant that you can grow indoors or in a partially shaded area of your garden. Please do support our channel for more gardening related videos. Thanks for watching Fresh from My Garden.